흩어져 보이는 벤치마다 잠시 앉았다가 가고 싶은데
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Hidayah bint Abdul. I'm from 81171B. I'm currently studying for Diploma Photography and Creative Imaging at UiTM Alor Gajah Melaka, and I'm also part of CXVII Photomatic team. So today, I'm going to show you my best picture while I'm in first semester at UiTM Alor Gajah Melaka. First, there are 3 phases that I learned while I'm in first semester, which is phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. In the phase 1, I learned about technique in photography. It is ISO, aperture, and shutter speed. In the second phase, I learned about light direction, white balance, and HDR. Finally, in the third phase, I learned about composition, framing, lines, diagonal lines, shape, patterns, balance, rule of third, and psychology colors. Let me show you my best picture. During the first phase, my best picture is high shutter. I think this picture is my best picture because I need help from my sister to drop water on the surface of the can. I took this picture using ISO 800, aperture 5.0, and shutter speed 1250. Why do I use high ISO? It is because I take this picture during the night, so there is no much light. In addition, I use high shutter speed because I want to freeze this picture without shaking. Best picture when in the second phase is the manual white balance during the night. What is white balance? White balance is a feature that ensures that the color white is reproduced concurrently regardless of the type of lighting under which a photo is taken. Why did I choose this picture as my best picture in second phase? It is because this picture has a lot of light and make this picture looks different when using manual white balance. Next, I choose framing is my best picture while in the third phase because it is the hardest picture to take. It took a very long time to wait for the car to come through the Saloma Bridge and had to take the picture very quickly. For this picture, I use ISO 1600, aperture 1.8, and shutter speed 400. I use 50mm lens to take this picture. I took this picture at night and there is not much light because of it. I use a relative high ISO. And why I use high shutter speed? Because I do not want to show the slide of thermal on the car. For the fourth picture, I learned right in the third phase. An action close-up shot frames a subject very closely, so that the outer portion of the subject are cut off by the edge of the frame. The technique of making action close-up is inverted lens, but before that, the aperture must be at 3.5, and there is be enough light for the clear picture. I use ISO 100 and shutter speed 20. For the next picture, it is still on human interest. What is human interest? Human interest photography is a portrait of a person's life that describes the atmosphere or mood and raise sympathy from the person who sees it. Why I chose this picture? Because when I took this picture, I felt a very strong love between aunt and nephew. For this picture, I use ISO 200, aperture 8, and shutter speed 50. For this picture, I chose the public bank as my architecture image. I took this picture random and the result was quite interesting. I edit this picture using an iPhone. Architecture photography is the subgenre of the photography discipline where the primary emphasis is made to capturing photographs of building and similar architecture structure that are both aesthetically pleasing and accurate the term of representation of their subject. I use ISO 100, aperture 10, and shutter speed 200. For the second last picture, I use the picture of Sultan Iskandar Moscow as my HDR picture. HDR stands for High Dynamic Range. HDR is a technology that improves the range of color and contrast in a digital image. HDR photography is often captured by capturing multiple pictures with different exposure and mesh them together in the Photoshop or Lightroom. For my last picture is journalism. Photojournalism is a particular form of journalism that employs image in order to tell a news story. For the picture this time, I took a picture of someone whose hobby to take picture of others. I made this journalism picture because in my picture story, there is another story being taken. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe our YouTube channel and follow our Instagram CXVII Official. Stay safe, stay at home, and